Türkçe,
Arabic letter Aleph, Arabic letter Ra, Arabic letter Dal, Arabic letter Wa, Tiang Viet, you are here, home, Tribunal over Liberalism. Tribunal over Liberalism, Twitter, VK, Odnoklasniki, Blogger, LiveJournal, email, print, share, political philosophy. Tribunal over Liberalism, 08.02.2025, Alexander Dubin, in an instant, following Trump's rapid reforms, where he declared that there are only two genders, male and female, a monstrous picture unfolded before the eyes of Americans and the entire world. Millions of those who had been convinced by the previously ruling liberals to change their gender or identify as non-existent genders suddenly found themselves transformed from progressive, forward-thinking citizens into cripples, invalids. Just moments before, they had been inculcated with the idea that gender diversification, including castration, mutilation, and the psychological breakdown of young children, were signs of the most adequate social behavior. Now, it turned out that those who insisted on this were simply maniacs and criminals, and those who succumbed were victims who had voluntarily agreed to become freaks. Liberals had almost pushed their societies into the abyss, telling them soothing fairy tales, but Trump suddenly revealed that this was indeed the case. The abyss had opened, and many had already fallen into it. Many had managed to physically, mentally, and socially ruin their children, losing them forever. Even Elon Musk suffered from this. His child turned into an imbecile. They will never recover from this. What the liberals did was a giant social experiment, more terrifying than Nazism and communism. And this was not just a gang of maniacs, perverts, pedophiles, and schizophrenics. It was an entire ideology that took its main principle to absurdity, the pursuit of individualism to the point of liberation from all forms of collective identity, state, nationhood, faith, ethnos, gender, and finally species. We discussed this with Tucker Carlson. He was horrified by everything happening in the West, and now Tucker Carlson is in the White House. And Trump has abruptly stopped the psychophysical genocide of the American people. How do transgender people, drag queens, body positivity advocates, mutilants, castrates, and quad robbers feel now? Especially transgender children, who instantly went from being advanced representatives of woke culture to being considered trash and victims of inhumane perversion. How can they study, live, build families, when the new, healthy generation of the Trump era, where there are only two genders, will see them as biological waste, psychological and physical degenerates? It's time to compile the Black Book of Liberalism. Because it's all about ideology. Liberalism should be recognized as a criminal and extremist ideology. It is responsible for terror, wars, coups, genocide, the orchestrated lies of international media, for color revolutions, murders, and, most monstrously, for the mass violence and psychological breakdown of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of children receiving incurable trauma to both body and mind. Liberals have mutilated the souls and bodies of countless of their own citizens. And what the elites did to unprotected migrant children is beyond imagination. Now, the truth about the pedophilic orgies of the top of the U.S. Democratic Party is slowly coming to light, about the closed satanic rituals on Epstein's Island and P. Diddy's parties, where many participated. Soon all the details will be known. And America will shudder, as will all of humanity. All three Western political ideologies of the modernity turned out to be criminal, ultimately leading to a bloody nightmare. Communists destroyed entire classes, the aristocracy, peasantry, slaughtered believers, cursed national identity and ancient traditions. All in the name of progress. And it all ended in sad degeneration and collapse. Yet, this was a Western ideology that naive Russian people fell for. The Black Book of Communism exists. The horrors committed by the Nazis are known in detail, and the memory of this does not fade or erase, especially since there are still followers in our time. the atrocities of Ukrainian Nazis against civilians. Alas, this is yet another page in the Black Book of Nazism. It remains to condemn and sentence liberalism on a planetary scale. Those who orchestrated all this must face just punishment. This was the task of all humanity, to stop Western globalism, to defeat this anti-human ideology, policy, system. But things turned out differently. The system was overthrown from within. The Americans themselves toppled the rabid liberal elite and delivered their judgment. A tribunal is coming. It is inevitable. Trumpists have delivered a crushing blow to the heart of the liberal octopus, USAID, the system that financed global liberalism in all its dimensions: terror, extremism, corporate media, espionage, coups, assassinations, data falsification, and the persecution of dissenters. In fact, it is USAID that stands behind the formation, funding, and direct political support of Ukrainian Nazism. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, and here's something important. We must now recognize all three Western ideologies of the modernity as criminal, otherwise, we will keep wandering in this bad dream, moving from one criminal system to another. Even now, it's not excluded that the West, having recoiled from liberalism and hating communism, might once again be tempted by Nazism, in its most unsightly versions. This would restart the vicious cycle. It's crucial to break this cycle and go beyond it. The Western modernity is far from the only field of political ideas and theories. There is much that is non-Western and/or not related to modernity. All this forms the ideational thesaurus of the fourth political theory. Therefore, the tribunal over liberalism and liberals must not throw us back to fascism or communism. All three ideologies are criminal, disastrous, and inhumane. They lack God, Christ, love, soul, and the people as subjects of history. They lack the acute experience of authentic being. They lack design. All are atheistic, materialistic, and alienated. They were designed to replace religion, an idea already inherently corrupt. This is a perversion, a crime, and the beginning of the end. That's why, by the way, Trump emphasizes religion so much. Let it be Western Christianity. That's an American affair. We have our own faith, Eastern Orthodox Christianity. It is our way. But we must transcend Western modernity together. We started the war against liberalism in our country and in Ukraine. But the decisive blow against it was delivered by the Americans themselves. Therefore, it's likely that now, the most serious thinkers in the Trumpist camp will turn their gaze towards the fourth political theory. The globalists have done everything to prevent this, banning the fourth political theory on their networks, demonizing its supporters, deleting accounts, even killing. But an idea cannot be killed. Thus, the tribunal over liberals must be conducted based on the fourth political theory, beyond the ideologies of Western modernity, any and all. Political philosophy, modernity, liberalism, Donald Trump, ideology, fourth political theory, Twitter.
VK, Одноклассники, блогер, LiveJournal, email.